Last wish, I wish you had more time.
Are you listening? Damn.
Last wish, I wish I had more time. A quote by Denzel Washington from the amazing movie Man on Fire. And that's what it also does, because busy these days is the new sexy. If you don't say that you're busy, if your agenda is not full, you're not doing great, you're not moving forward, you're not successful in whatever you're doing. But that's the wrong perception, and it actually puts us on fire. I faced the consequences myself of being always busy, having no time for what really matters. And I went through physical and mental hell for 3 years. Burned out completely, but that's not what this video is about. But that's the extreme consequence of always being, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that. Chasing your agenda, chasing the projects, the mails. There's always something next on your to-do list. And that's what this video is about, because there are 3 things that really made a difference for me when it comes to the excuse, I don't have time. And so also, if you look at your own environment, you have people that are always chasing their agenda, their to-do list. There's always something. They're running from one thing to the other. And then you have other people that are traveling, working out, achieving goals, being a great leader for their team, building a business, hiring people. And you're like, how do they do it? Because they have the same 24 hours, but it seems that they get more done in the same amount of time that you're struggling with. While we all have the same amount of time, it's just how we deal with it. And I know you heard this before, and there's no rocket science what I'm saying there, but knowing and actually doing something about it is a whole different game. And the 3 things that stuck with me, like I said, I bumped into it, burned out completely, and paid the highest price when it comes to saying, I don't have time for this, and really chasing being part of the rat race. And these 3 things made such a difference for me that I can now do a lot of things, achieve more, grow more, have a better career, more time for my personal life, still have the same 24 hours, but by adapting these 3 things, I'm making time for what really matters. And that's what it's all about. And that's what this video is about. How do you spend time on the things that actually matter so you move ahead? Because being busy often doesn't mean that you're going to be successful in whatever you're doing, business or private life. It means that you're just going to be very busy, working very hard, but not going anywhere. It's the people that actually focus on what is important that are going to get the promotions, that are going to build a career, that are going to have a great personal life and build their business or be a great leader, whatever your goals are. And the first thing for me that really resonated is saying, not I don't have time, but replacing it by, this is not a priority for me. And again, you probably heard it before. Instagram is full of this. I don't have time, say it's not a priority. But actually adopt it. When I first heard it, it also seemed like, but you're saying the same thing. I don't have time, it's not a priority. It's the same thing. It's not. There's a very big difference. Why? What's the big difference? When you say I don't have time, you give yourself an easy excuse. I don't have time for this. And it justifies it for yourself that you're not doing a certain thing that you should be doing. I don't have time, let's go, I'm busy, and your body accepts it, your mind accepts it. When you say it's not a priority, it forces you to consciously think about the choice that you're making, because you only have 24 hours, so you can't do everything in life. But while you're saying it's not a priority, you're saying I'm choosing this over that. If you say I don't have time to go running, but you're watching Netflix, that is perfectly okay. Because if your body at that moment doesn't need another effort and something to put tension on your body, but you just need to watch something brainless because that's also good for your mind and body, then you deliberately choose, I'm not going running, not because I don't have time, because I know I have time, but running is now not a priority because I consciously choose to watch Netflix because that's what my body and mind needs right now. Now, if you start making choices like that, that will make a big difference. And the biggest impact it had on me, and I also use that when I coach people, when I mentor people, is when it comes to yourself. When you're doing a coaching, a training, a masterclass, mentor, whatever, you're investing in yourself. But in the day-to-day business, you're so busy that that coaching meeting is not right for this week. I'm so busy, another client has called, I need to do this project, my boss asked me to do that. And what often happens is, I used to do the same, so I'm not judging. I used to do the same. This is recognition for me. And I also used to say, like, can we postpone the coaching? Can I do the training on another time? I might skip this training because I don't have the time right now. Now, if you say, for me now, it's not a priority, You're consciously choosing, but what you're also saying, and that's why I often mail, and it makes me sound like an asshole, but what I often mail when people wants to postpone a meeting, which is fine. We postpone, we're flexible. It's life. Life throws you things and you have to make choices. I understand that. I don't want to be a robot and that it's black or white. But often when people say, I don't have time for this coaching session or this training right now, I mail them back and I say, so what you're saying is, which is fine, no problem postponing the meeting or rescheduling. But I say, so what you're saying right now is that you yourself, your personal growth, your development is not a priority right now. And that's okay. If something else is more important, but what you're saying right now is you and your growth is not a priority versus that full mailbox, versus that client, versus that fire you have to put out at work or whatever's going on. That's what you're saying, and it's perfectly fine, but make that conscious choice that you are not a priority versus that other thing. Most of the time people mail back, just leave the meeting there. You're right. I shouldn't put myself back. And that's what I also did years ago. I always put something else prior to me. But then you're just very busy. And then you're using that excuse of not having time and creating that habit of, I don't have time, move forward. And you're always busy, but you're not getting ahead. And eventually, either you don't achieve your goals or you burn out. So say that. Next time you say something and you choose something, don't say, I don't have time or didn't have time for that assignment or for that training or for that project or for running or playing an instrument. Say it wasn't a priority. It's not a priority. And then consciously think about it. Whatever you choose, it's fine. But now you deliberately chose that certain thing. I choose sitting in my chair, relaxing, watching some Star Wars over running, which is fine. Sometimes you need that. Now I'm going to choose running over doing a meeting with a client because running and relaxing is more important than the client. Now I'm going to choose the client over something else because the client now needs priority and the other thing is just something that will repeat itself every week. That's the thing. For me, that was eye-opener. Not just knowing the sentence of it's a priority, but actually adapting it and making yourself conscious of the choices. That helped me a lot. The second thing that it brought me to is self-care. How do you look at self-care? In your mind, you have to dig deep now. Just not superficial, rational, really go deep. Is self-care for you selfish or is it really something you need? Because most of the time when you say, I am a priority, I guard my boundaries and I choose deliberately what I want, consciously choosing for what is a priority or not. And people say, well, you're selfish. Because you need to service the client. You need to finish your to-do list. You're being paid to clear out that mailbox and attend every single meeting in your life or family gathering. But self-care isn't selfish. But if that belief deep down is still there, without you knowing it, that you think self-care is selfish, you won't get ahead and it's a very dangerous place to be in. I was in that place. For me, self-care, I will always say I sleep when I'm dead. Work goes before everything. I need to earn money, career, let's go, and all the rest I'll see when I have time or when I made it. In my head, what would be success? That changed a lot. Self-care, is it selfish? Ask yourself that question. Because for me, self-care is not sitting on a mountain and meditating. Self-care is not going to a spa and being all, oh my God, I gotta take care of myself. If that relaxes you, you do your thing. Self-care is, do you know what you want? Do you know what you need mentally, physically, what gives you energy in your job, in your personal life? And do you put that as a priority? And what you will see is people that put themselves as a priority in life, in business, become better leaders, become better professionals, become better husbands or wives or whatever. Because you cannot take care of other people. You cannot lead a team, give them behavior to copy if you yourself are not feeling great. If you're always busy, if you're like a rat running a race, people will copy that. And they will also be busy. And everybody in the end is miserable and not achieving what they want to be achieving. But if you take care of yourself and you convince yourself, take some time, that self-care isn't selfish, but self-care is necessary and a priority for you to be able to inspire, convince, and lead others in your life and actually go for the things that you want in life, then self-care should be a priority. For me, that was I was so wrong in my convictions. I was so wrong in my beliefs. Self-care was something icky. Self-care was selfish. The moment I changed that and I consciously made choices, what is a priority, what not, and I'm choosing myself first, not because I want to put other people down. That's not self-care. Putting other people down. No, lifting myself up so I can take the rest along. And so they can copy that behavior, copy that energy, and we all move forward in a more natural and healthy way. So those two things already changed me. Don't say I don't have time. Is it a priority or not? Consciously choose and ask yourself, what is your view on self-care? Is it selfish? Or is it something you need? And what do you need? And go for that. And you will see that it will change your life, your business, things start going. The third part is, if you can set yourself priorities, if you know that self-care isn't selfish, isn't putting people down, but putting yourself up so you can also lift others up because you feel good, you have the energy, you know where you're going. You can start controlling, and it sounds very negative, controlling, but you start controlling your life and you start controlling your agenda. And the exercise I always give in people that we're coaching, because we do storytelling communication, but if you want to communicate in a certain way, tell us stories, convince people, inspire, this is very important, because if you don't feel good, you don't believe in yourself, and you're always busy, you cannot convince others to do the same or jump in with you in your team and your project. And what I give them is, and again, I'm not downsizing my content, but you probably heard it before, but knowing is not the same as actually doing. What I tell them is, for this week assignment is, just say consciously no to 3 things. Maybe 2 if it's a big step, but 2 or 3 things. And that sounds really simple, but for someone who is always busy, for someone who doesn't have time, that's a huge step. I know, I was there. Say no to 2 or 3 things consciously, because it's not a priority and it's not good for you. It's not going to give you energy. It's just going to deplete your energy. Could be a meeting, could be a certain supplier, could be certain mails, whatever it is. Say no if you don't need it. If it's not going to give you energy, it's not going to be positive. Because look at your own life business-wise. You have 5 meetings in a day. How many are actually useful? 1? Maybe 2? That's it. The rest is just unnecessary. So control your agenda by setting your priorities, taking care of yourself first, not seeing it as selfish, and saying no 2 to 3 times consciously. It sounds easy, but it's super hard. But if you do that, you will free up so much time that you will be able to focus on the things that actually bring value to you, your partner, your family, your friends, or your team. I'm not saying I'm perfect in this. I make mistakes, but then I at least know where I'm making those mistakes and what brought me in that terrible situation so many years ago, and I can adapt myself. So I'm not saying that I'm a perfect person running through life and priority and self-care. It's a progress. You have to work on it, but you have to be consciously working on it. Say no. Try it. Say no. When someone mails you and said this is urgent and you know it's not urgent and you know it's not important for you, no, not now. When you have 5 meetings, say no to 1 or 2 that you know that are completely useless. And you can use that time for other stuff that actually matter for your team, for yourself, for the business. Say no. So set your priorities. Is this a priority or not? Consciously say it. Self-care isn't selfish. And say 2 to 3 times no. Practice that. And you will see that your world will change. And not always overselling this, but your world will change. As it's changed for me. Not promising you riches and that you're driving a Bentley. That's not the goal. It's you. How your mindset is, how your body is, how you're doing in your personal and business life, how you're performing, how you're feeling, how you're living. That's what this is about. And when you do that, it might feel very awkward in the beginning because you're going to feel lazy. You're going to feel selfish if you're still with that belief. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I still have a full mailbox. I'm not attending certain meetings. Am I failing my boss? Am I failing my team? Oh my God, I'm taking a break. I'm taking a holiday. I'm putting my sport before my project or something like this evening. It will, the more you were in, I'm always busy, I don't have time, the bigger the step will be. But once you take that step, these small steps of saying no, setting apart, a magical thing will happen. as it happened for me, as it happened for so many other people, because you will have so much time to do the things that actually matter to you, your team, your business, your family life, because you only focus on what actually brings value and not focusing on everything that gets thrown your way and that you think is important because people expect it from you and that you don't want to let them down, but actually you're doing a lot and you're not getting ahead. You're just running in the same place. Those were also the dreams I had back then. I was always dreaming of me running in the same place. That was my body and mind telling me, Marnick, you're doing a lot, but you're not getting anywhere because it's not adding value to you and other people. Once I started adapting these three things, things were changing. And one ex-colleague of mine I always admired, and he was doing such a great job, still is, but doing such a great job. Private life, business, everybody loved him. His team loved him. He was a great leader. He was a great person in sales and marketing. So he was doing what he should be doing, privately and business-wise. But why was he growing? Why was he achieving? Why was he doing so much great stuff? Not because he was always busy. He consciously said, and it shocked everybody, if you book in my agenda a meeting before 10, I won't come. Because before 10, my family comes first. I do certain things that I need to be doing for my job that actually matter to the team, to our projects, and not just jump into everything. And then I will be there for you. And you could also say at certain points, now I'm going to take the day off. Doesn't matter if it was in the middle of the project. Like I said, it's not about putting it on your team or putting other people down to make sure that they have to take care of it. No. It's just guarding your own agenda, making sure that you can focus on what you should be focusing on, that you keep that balance. And balance doesn't mean that you're going to get lazy. Keep that balance. And you will see that whatever you want in life, great relationships, happiness, traveling, achieving your goals at work, being a great leader, getting the projects done, getting a promotion, growing your career, whatever you want will come way faster because you're not wasting time on things that don't matter. And you're only doing things that bring value to you, other people, your team. You know what your priorities are, and whatever you choose, you know that the other thing you can't do because you choose X over Y, but now you at least know why you're not doing Y and why X is more important. I can go on for days, and I think it's pretty clear the point I want to make, I hope. But those three things are so simple in theory, but so hard in real life. But those are the three things. The people that master that are the people that won't say to you, oh, I'm super busy. Oh my God, I'm going from meeting to meeting. I have so many phone calls. Those are the people that are saying, it's going great. Business is good. Okay, there are challenges, but the team is doing good. We're getting there. We're solving stuff. Having spent some traveling, some time with my family. Very nice. You have the feeling like they're traveling, they're working out, they're running their business. How are they doing that in 24 hours? And even getting 8 hours of sleep. How are they doing that? That's the power of those three things. And if you forget everything I just said in this video, and you're like, yeah, Marnick, I'll check. Just remember the most amazing quote by Arnold Schwarzenegger. And it's not, I'll be back. But the one thing I always remembered, and I love this quote, and just if you don't remember anything, just remember the quote of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Next time you say, I don't have time for this. I didn't do it because I didn't have time to do the assignment project or spend time with my friends. Arnold Schwarzenegger says, and I'm not an impersonator, so I'm not going to claim I'm going to do a good Schwarzenegger, but I'm just going to try it in his voice. You know, it sounds cooler. And he says, all these people that come to me and they say, Arnold, I don't have time for this. I don't have time for that. You make time. You have time. You have 24 hours in a day. You only need 6 hours of sleep. That means you have 18 hours left to work on your goals, spend time with your family. But then these people come to me and they say, Arnold, I need 8 hours of sleep. To those people I say, sleep faster. I was Marnick Vandenbroek. You were amazing. Do something with it. Go live your life. Bring value. Set priorities. Self-care isn't selfish. And say no to the things that you know you don't need and want. Thank you so much. Until next time, subscribe, like, notifications on. You know how it works. Bye-bye.